Okay, let's unpack this. Artificial intelligence. I mean, it's not just some buzzword anymore, is it?
Not at all. It's moving so fast.
Exactly. It's really reshaping industries and, frankly, stirring up some pretty urgent questions,
Yeah.
about our careers, our
Oh,
livelihoods.
whole society, really.
Totally. So today we're doing a deep dive into the future of work, this relentless march of automation, and, well, that big question from our source material. Will AI replace human jobs by 2030?
Yeah, what's fascinating here, looking at the material, is just how wide-ranging this whole thing is.
Right.
It's not just a quick look. The analysis basically says no job is off limits. That's the claim.
No job, that's
It
huge.
is. It covers everything from creative industries to blue-collar labor.
Yeah.
So forget just robots on assembly lines. We're talking generative AI, sophisticated automation across the board.
Wow.
It really makes you think machines could seriously reshape, human work by 2030.
That's a bold claim. And it's why this deep dive feels so important, right? For you listening, whether you're, I don't know, a student, a creator in tech, or just curious about what's coming,
Mm-hmm.
our sources help us tackle some key things. Which jobs are really most at risk now and why? Can AI genuinely be creative? Is that still just a human thing?
Good question.
And what skills are actually going to matter? And then there's the big one. Is something like universal basic income the answer? Let's jump in.
Okay.
So that first point, jobs at risk. The material we looked at had some surprises, didn't it? It wasn't just like manual labor.
No, not at all. It pointed to certain white-collar roles being pretty vulnerable.
Which one stood out to you?
Well, the analysis really flags roles heavy on, say, high-volume data processing, pattern spotting, even some mid-level management stuff where decisions follow clear rules.
Okay. Like what specifically?
Think administrative assistants, maybe data entry clerks, paralegals, even some entry-level financial analyst tasks. The source material shows how AI, especially things like robotic process automation,
Mm.
can just do these tasks way faster, more accurately, and cheaper. It's about efficiency gains.
That really flips the script on who needs to pay attention. It's not just factory floors anymore.
Exactly.
But then what about creativity? That's the next big hurdle, isn't it? We think of that as uniquely human. Can AI really, write a song or paint a picture? What did the research say?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. The sources show pretty convincing evidence that AI, especially these large language model, generative AI, can create stuff that's honestly remarkably creative.
Like indistinguishable.
Often, yeah. We're seeing AI-generated marketing copy, music, even visual art winning competitions.
Wow.
Now, the key thing the sources stress is that AI doesn't feel emotion or have intent like humans do,
Mm-hmm.
but it's incredibly good at learning patterns from massive data sets of human creativity
Mm-hmm.
and then recombining those patterns in new ways. So it begs the question, right? Does the origin matter of silicon or brain if the output connects with us?
That's a deep question. So if AI can do analysis and creative tasks, what's left for us humans? The source material talked a lot about essential skills.
I did, consistently.
What are those skills we should be focusing on?
The material points to things AI really struggles with. So critical thinking, not just spotting patterns, but deeper analysis, putting new ideas together, complex problem solving, especially for fuzzy, unclear problems.
Okay.
Then there's the really human stuff. Empathy, emotional intelligence, communicating effectively with other people. Those are highlighted as crucial.
Makes sense.
And finally, just being adaptable, being able to learn constantly, the ability to pivot and pick up new skills fast.
Yeah.
That seems paramount. Our edge becomes sort of understanding human context and original thought.
Right. So adapting is key. But looking bigger picture, what about society? If jobs do get displaced on a large scale, how do we handle that? Our source talks about universal basic income.
UBI, yeah.
It comes up a lot.
What's the core idea there from the sources? Well, universal basic income, basically, regular unconditional cash for everyone, is presented as one potential solution. The main argument is if AI causes major job losses, UBI could act as a safety net.
Keeping things stable.
Exactly. Prevent instability, ensure a basic living standard. Some sources also suggest it could free people up, for education, starting businesses, creative work, things not just driven by needing a paycheck.
But it's not simple, right? What are the catches?
Definitely not simple. The sources also bring up the huge economic questions. How do you fund it? Would it discourage work? How does it change our whole relationship with jobs and maybe purpose? It's a really complex debate.
Okay, so a lot to think about there. So what does this all mean? For you listening, whether you're mapping out your studies, you're a creator, deep in tech, or honestly just curious about where humanity is headed.
Hmm.
We've touched on these critical questions: AI's impact on jobs, what creativity even means now, the skills that matter, and these huge potential societal shifts like UBI.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, what the material really suggests, I think, is that this isn't just about jobs disappearing. It might be a deeper shift
A shift in what?
in how we define human value, how our society is structured. This raises an important question, maybe the most important one for all of us to think about. If traditional work becomes